It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning, South Africa, and welcome to the Culinary Hotline Blue!
Ting, ting, ting.
Everyone is very excited today because they know they are going to be eating so well today. It's a very special edition of the Culinary Hotline. It's the viewer edition, and I brought someone in who is phenomenal in the kitchen. We've got Tony Munsami in the kitchen. Can we get a hand for Tony?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Morning, Clem.
Tony, I feel like you're taking the spotlight. People, I'm out. It's Tony's show. No, I'm here.
No.
So happy
Yeah,
to
my
have
brother.
you.
Thank
So,
you.
Tell the people where we met.
We actually met in Woolworths.
We met in Woolworths.
Woolworths.
You meet the best people in the world in Woolworths. I actually met Tony and he was like, listen, I know you cook. I cook too. And I can make some of the finest curries you have ever tasted in your life. And I was like, okay, cool. Show me. So Tony, you're joining us this morning. I'm so excited to have you here. It's winter, right?
Yes.
And people are looking for hearty and just like soul-filling food. And these curries are it. But I feel like curries are different. They like the one dish that's appropriate in summer, spring, winter, autumn. Curries. And you're a pro. You're an absolute pro.
I wouldn't say absolute pro, but home cooking, love it.
Love it. Okay, let's get started straight away. And I'm going to talk to you while we're busy cooking. I'm seeing prawns. I'm smelling amazing things. We're making a prawn curry, right?
That's correct.
Tried and tested?
Yes.
This has been like hundreds of times already you've made this.
Definitely is one of the family favorites.
I think it's a country favorite. Seafood curry is just so delicious. Graham is actually highly allergic to seafood, and he was like, I don't care. I'm going to try it today. So we are on standby with EpiPens for Graham because he's so committed to this curry. So let's talk about what happens first. So I've got some oil in the pan already, but you said we're going to start off with butter.
With butter, yes.
Or I mean at home, if you have some ghee, get the ghee in there. And that's for cooking our prawns.
That's correct.
Cool, so let's get started. Tell me about the way you marinate your prawns.
Okay, basically the first thing that we do is we're using the ginger and garlic. The ginger and garlic mix go in first.
And you don't want to, can we marinate our prawns ahead of time, or is it best?
Yes, you can. It actually, the longer you keep it marinated, the more the flavors soak in. So it's better if you could marinate it and then clean it, keep it in the fridge for an hour or two or something, and then, or even if you want to do it using your fingers like what I'm doing currently.
It's your best kitchen utensil, it's your hands.
Exactly.
100%.
And then adding to this is your mixed herb.
So we're going with mixed herb, and I like the fact that we're not using...
Rustic garlic.
Rustic garlic.
Rustic garlic and herb.
We're going quite aggressively with the herbs and spices, and I love that, because that's where all that flavor comes
That's
through.
where the earth feeling and the earth taste comes up from the mixed herbs. Because with the different herb that we have, you get different flavors.
Okay.
But the ratio that you use it in is most important.
It's the ratio.
The ratio.
That's the secret.
Exactly. But if you put too much of rosemary, it's going to change the taste. If you put too much of thyme, you're going to get a different taste. So it's best to stick to the minimum, and you can always add on.
And if you want to get that recipe South Africa going, check it out on expressoshow.com. Tony has gracefully gave us all 3 of his recipes. You should try them, absolutely. So let's talk about the next one going in.
And then use the Robinson's Shish and Nyama spice.
Okay.
That's just to add the backup flavor to it. Once you got all 3, and then you just mix it again with your ends. Then you're going to come to like a dry paste, what you have now with the prawn.
That looks so good. And that's what we're going to fry off first. So we're going to seal in the flavor. We're actually going to get some of the flavor of the prawns and the spices and the herbs in our butter and oil. I mean, we're flavoring the oil that way, so we're building levels of flavor, which is quite important with curries. Yeah, and this is the first level.
If you look at the first product, this is what it should look like.
Nice.
That's our start-off product before it goes into the butter.
And it can go?
Yes,
okay.
we can go in.
There we go. So who taught you how to cook?
We started at a very young age. We've been in a diverse family. We had our moms and our grannies with us. You can start to get the smell already with the mixed up. It's coming through.
It is. So it's the family that taught you. It's your aunts, your moms, your mom, your gran, you said?
Yes.
And now the responsibility is on you because you brought your son here today. Is he a good cook?
He's a brilliant cook.
He is a brilliant cook? Look at him smiling. And is it important for you to kind of hand down those recipes that you learned yourself to your kids?
Yes, it's 100%. 100%. Because times when we are busy, they there to take reign and follow in the footsteps of carrying the curry to the next level.
Exactly.
Next generation.
What is your son's name?
Joshua.
Joshua's looking a little shy. Look at him sitting on the couch. He knows what's happening. He's not even so surprised. He knows the goodness that's about to come out of this kitchen. Ah, Joshua. So we're looking forward to having Joshua on the show one day with his amazing recipes.
Definitely you will. As it's turning there, then you can turn it around so it gets the flavors that are being monitored completely.
So once the prawns are done, we're going to take it out the pan. What goes in next?
Then you're going to get your onion with your chili, with your curry leaf.
Nice.
Add them individually.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, South Africa, I'm going to cheat a little bit. As you can see, my prawns are basically at that point we want to take it out. So we're going to get it out of the pan. We're going to go in with the onions and start building the next layer of flavor. So I like this dish. Well, I like all curries because of the fact that I always batch cook them because we know curries taste better the next day and the next day and the next day.
Yes.
So this is a great one to actually do in bulk.
Yes.
And maybe add a couple of extra bits of seafood. Am I changing a recipe too much? You can make like a medley of seafood?
You can, because normally the normal favorite is the chicken and prawn curry.
Oh, yes.
But I'm doing a single prawn curry. So you can add other seafood mixes if you want to. But
kind
like
of
I say, the flavors will not be the same.
Exactly, because I mean, a pure prawn curry is just all about that sweet prawn flavor.
Yes.
I love that. So we've gone in with some curry leaves.
As this now soaks up the butter, you can just add in a little bit of oil.
So it's curry leaves, green chili, the onions are in, a little bit of oil. We're going to fry this off, and then we're going to go in with our spice mix.
Oh, spice
And
mix,
you've got a beautiful spice mix that you brought yourself. This is your own masala.
Yes.
It smells so fragrant. It's amazing. Maybe in the second part of the hotline, I might ask you what goes into your magic masala. How much of this do we add into the pan now?
Okay, the first thing that we're going to add is the turmeric.
Turmeric.
Turmeric goes in first.
And that's not just for that amazing color. You do get a bit of flavor from that as well.
Followed by the dhania jeera powder. Followed by the garam masala.
Smelling so good. It is smelling amazing. So the garam masala goes in, and now your beautiful masala paste.
We're going to put in 4.
Generous. And I like that. I see you got a bit of curry leaves in there as well. And for me, curry leaves in a curry just make curries taste instantly way better.
Yes, yes.
Can I add a little bit of oil to this?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so we're gonna add a bit of oil to this. We're gonna keep on sauteing this. The prawns are gonna go back in. And when we come back to the next part of the hotline, we're gonna finish up this amazing dish. Don't go anywhere, but also I wanna know, what's the one thing that father figure in your life makes that no one else can beat? Let us know. Send us a voice on 063 408 8863. Don't go anywhere, because we will be back with more Culinary Hotline Bling!
Ting, ting, ting.
Don't go anywhere.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, we said curry in a hurry, so we are hurrying to bring you the curry. We have got some superstars in the kitchen. I'm talking about the smells coming out of this kitchen. Tony, oh my word, dude. For the Culinary Hotline Bling, we are making delicious curries this morning. The first is well on the way. Bring us up to speed here, my friend.
Okay, what we saw earlier just before we ended, all the spices going into the pan. A little bit of water's gone in. Tony, if you can pass me your blender. So Tony and I did, we've blended some tomato, some coriander, some green chili. Ooh. That's gonna join the mix.
So this is heat on top of the heat.
Yes, and then Tony, how long would this simmer before we add the prawns back?
It'll be about 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. So when we come back to the next part of the outline, the prawns are gonna go back in for a swim.
I was going to say there's going to be nothing left by then, but I have a feeling it's going to be gone. But you can see from the oils that you've been developing over this period, from the start of the show, almost, you can see the flavor literally in the oil. Look at that.
And a little bit of pepper.
Take a bit of this, dab, 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 dab.
Hey, you never be alone. Never be alone a day in your life.
Nice.
Listen, after the break, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to see if I can catch our little Zozo out with a bit of a prank in slow-mo. Stick around for that. Lots of fun in the next 2 hours, but let's set off for the second hour with those news headlines, and we'll touch on the sport.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
And we're back with another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting! We're getting a culinary hotline curry masterclass. It's 101 today. We're going back to basics and learning the fundamental stages of making an amazing, amazing curry. Tony Munsami has been here. That prawn curry, amazing. I actually want to bring your eyes over here. So you saw that big pan of curry that we made earlier. This is all that's left of it now. Culprits. Who has gone and started snacking on the prawn curry? We'll find out soon. But Tony, a prawn curry, absolutely a massive hit. What's next on the menu?
Now we have the normal traditional lamb curry. Lamb curry.
Like I said, normal. Ain't nothing normal about a good lamb curry.
In an Indian household, lamb curry, divine.
Divine. So let's get started. So we've got beautiful looking lamb. We've got our pan. We've got some oil in there that's been heating up already.
Okay, we're just going to add a little bit more oil to the pan.
What people sometimes miss out is the fact that with a curry, oil carries flavor. So you need a good amount, not crazy, you need a decent amount of oil there to help that curry, the flavor of the curry carry through. So I like the fact we're going with the oil, plus then lamb's got its own little bit of oil there as well, which where the flavor's at.
If you look at the meat that we have here, it's quite nice. It doesn't have too much of fat on it, so which is good. That's why I didn't put too much of oil. So because the fat from here will drain into the oil and also flavor the oil as well.
Yes.
So
okay, let's
as we
talk.
got the oil there, we're going to add our dry spice. Oh, sorry about
No
that.
worries, let me get that. So what we're doing now is we're going to start off with our dry spices. We're going to toast those spices.
Our clove.
And that way we're actually seasoning the oil. And I love that. And we're also wakening up the flavors of the spices.
And our bay leaf, we're going to make sure that we break it in two halves so the flavor from inside gets exposed.
I never do that. That's amazing.
Yes,
I'm going to be doing it from now on.
Because once you break it, you actually open it up.
Okay.
And it exposes once in the oil and it's simmering, you get the flavor coming out.
You learn something new every day. That's amazing. Your heat is on there. Okay, those are in there. So
Yes.
we're looking for a little bit of like a popping, a little bit of a sizzling, and we know that it's
See, as it's going now, that's normal. Then just leave it a few more seconds. As you can see, the bubbles in there. Once you've got that, then you're going to add your
onions.
onion.
So when it comes to cooking at home,
Yes.
I know you're an absolute pro, but have you assigned tasks to the other members of the family? So if it's curry, it's Joshua's job to peel the onions and garlic. Is it a family event or is it just you? Do you prefer being alone in the kitchen?
Honestly, I prefer to do everything myself.
That's okay.
Because then you've got control, you know exactly what goes where and how you're going to assemble it.
Yes.
And
You don't
then
want Joshua adding 5 chilies instead of 2.
Exactly.
I get you.
When it comes to Joshua, he actually likes the little bit more spicy part of it. So
He does like spice?
yes, if
Okay.
I have to leave this to Joshua, he'll most probably put 3 or 4 chilies.
Okay, so I was right there. Joshua likes it spicy. Nice. Okay, cool. This is happening, getting fragrant, the green chili. Also, I love the fact that a lot of people just tend to go red chili. I love the flavor, the citrusy notes you get from green chili. It's a different type of heat, but that almost citrusy, zesty flavor you get from that chili. Green chili,
Yes.
it's the only one that could do that. So things are looking good, smelling amazing. What's next?
Okay. As you got that, then we add in our turmeric. As you can see now, the onion has gone translucent. It's falling down. Then you put in your turmeric.
It is smelling so good.
Then your jeera powder, your garam masala, and once again, the secret ingredient.
The secret ingredient. Okay, let's go through it. You don't have to share all of it unless you want to. What's in your masala mix?
Okay, basically in the masala mix, you got the Durban people known the spice that's called aromba rossi. It's simply an own mix, and then you add it with the Bombay mix.
Okay, so
In a small ratio of quarter of the Bombay mix with the half of the aromba rossi, and thereafter we add in ginger and garlic.
ginger garlic. So do we add water to this one, or are we gonna go straight in with the tomato?
We'll go straight in with the tomato.
Okay, so we blended up the tomato. Was it just tomato we blended up this time?
No, same. The
Coriander,
tomato,
green chili,
green chili.
tomato, blend.
Blend.
I love that. Okay, so that can come and join
That's
the
gonna
mix.
also join the mix here now.
So
As we join the mix.
I noticed we haven't browned off our lamb first, which is something I learned with a curry. You don't have to brown off the lamb, and it's also you get a better texture from it.
Correct.
Because you're not sealing the outside; it remains soft and kind of just leans and falls into the sauce a little easier.
And then we had our salt.
And salt is also very important. You can have the most amazing spices in your curry, but if you don't have enough salt in there, you're not going to taste a thing. Cool. So that goes in there.
And now we're going to add a little bit of water.
Say when, say when.
A little bit more. Right.
There we go. So we're keeping it nice and thick, and I love that. Sometimes I prefer a thicker curry, especially when it's lamb.
Yes.
You know it's going to coat the rice or whatever you're eating with it really well. And also with the seafood one, sometimes that's quite nice to have a bit of thinner gravy with it.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, this is looking amazing. That crimson red, you know it's about to taste good. Is this when we add the lamb to it?
No, not yet. We just need to leave the tomato to cook in. Because basically, we're going to put... The tomato has got its own flavor.
Yes.
So if you do not cook the tomato with the spices, you're going to get a different texture of taste.
Right, you're gonna get more of the acidity, more of the wateriness coming out the tomato, so you want to cook it down.
So you have to cook it down, and then as it is going down, you will see the oil starts to come up.
And I was about to ask you about that, because I also have been taught, once you see the oil take on the color of the spices, that's when you know you're ready for the next step.
Yes.
So can we fast forward and add that lamb to it?
Yes, we can.
So the
Definitely.
beautiful lamb going in. How long would you cook this for? Because here's the thing.
Give and take the cut of lamb that you're using. Like, for example, if you're using the leg portion, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
On the leg portion. And then if you're using the chop part, it's a little longer. The neck part is even more longer, like about 25 to 30 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we're actually eating
lamb
quickly.
cooks differently.
I thought that was good for like a couple of hours. But no, you're saying that's enough time.
No. That's only to get the lamb to a point where you're going to add the potatoes.
Oh, there's more then. You add the potatoes and you cook it further. Tony, we are going to come back and we're going to finish this up. South Africa, don't forget to send your voice notes through. That number is 063-408-8863. Don't go anywhere. There'll be more Culinary Hotline bling.
Ching, ching, ching.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to the last installment of the Culinary Hotline bling.
Ching, ching, ching.
Tony's still in the kitchen with us. Thank you so much, Tony. We've made two amazing curries.
Yeah.
We've made our prawn curry. We've made our lamb curry. I'm seeing fish. I'm very excited. What are we making?
Making the traditional Durban fish curry.
A traditional Durban fish curry.
Yes.
Yes. Again, very excited. We've got our pan and we've got our oil in the pan ready to go. What fish are we using?
We normally use, in Durban, they would use the yellowtail, or they use the angelfish. Or normally they will use the steam brass.
So quite meaty fish.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're going for. I like it. So today, what have we got with us?
Okay, like you see here, we do have the
Yellowtail?
The yellowtail.
It's yellowtail, yes.
But normally when we cook fish curry, we use it all with the bone.
Right.
We use it with the bone.
Okay.
And we slice it right through the center. And we use it in chunks.
So it's kind of, when it's the whole fish, cut straight through into almost like fish steaks.
Correct.
With the bone in it.
Yes.
Keep that in mind when you're making this dish at home. So
Because
cool.
most of the flavor comes from the bone itself.
Yes, and what I also find is with seafood, especially fish, that cartilage between the bones also helps add richness to the curry.
100%.
So definitely on the bone. Perfect. So what do we do first?
We add a little bit more oil to the pan.
And this is quite nice because seafood cooks really quickly. So
Yes.
I'm thinking load shedding, if you want to have curry and you don't feel like going out to get it, this is a good one to make just before the power goes out.
Yes, then we use our onion in.
I will turn the heat up for you now. Onion and a little bit of green chili again, my favorite. There we go.
Go again with the curry leaves. And our brinjal known by Indians and aubergine known by everybody else.
I didn't even know that brinjals were that prominent in Indian cuisine, and then I started reading a couple of recipe books, and I'm finding brinjals in quite a few recipes.
Yes.
But then it makes sense also because if you think about it, in certain parts of India, they are vegetarian.
Correct.
So there's always a substitute for that meaty texture, and brinjal does that really, really well.
Yes.
So I like that. So that's in there, and we kind of want to just cook everything down, translucent onions, get those brinjals slightly softened.
Softened, yes. Now, once the brinjals are slightly softened, then we're going to add our turmeric, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of our...
The magic masala goes in. So we're going to give that a mix. It is smelling... What I love is that it's simple ingredients, but already this on its own is smelling absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Now, we've got some comments from our viewers, and we're going to step over to the big screen. So we've asked some people what are their favorite curries. So we've got Teresa. Micah said she's definitely into your lamb curry. And Teresa, if you want that recipe, don't forget to go and check it out on expressoshow.com. Let's see. Nicole says she can't decide all the recipes you make, she can't decide. I am with you on that one. Then we've got Jennifer Jones who says an authentic Durban Indian fish curry, which is what we're doing right now. Absolutely. And then Roxy says, good morning, beautiful people. Option 2 for me, Indian lamb curry. People are just obsessed with your recipes, Tony. They really are. Let's see. And then we'll come back to it. We've got some more for the Indian curry. People are loving the lamb curry. People are obsessed with your curries, Tony. Okay, cool. So everything's looking good. Everything's looking amazing. Like I said, once we get to that point where onions are translucent, we're going to go in with turmeric.
A little bit of turmeric inside.
And instantly that color just changes. It's absolutely amazing.
I'm going to go here, 3 spoons. Not too much.
Oh, it smells amazing. Okay, we're giving this all a mix. We want to make sure that the brinjal picks up all that spice as well.
It must coat nicely.
Because it's going to suck it all up. That's where the flavor is going to come from. So we've got a vegan in the studio. We often talk about him. This would be a nice one if you take. We haven't added butter to it, and if we take out the fish, this would be a great plant-based curry, which I think would be absolutely delicious. And if you don't mind a bit of dairy, some paneer cheese with this in there would be amazing. Tony was like, is this man messing up my recipe? Oh, he's like, okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So this is looking good. What's next?
And then we put our old garlic.
And this one's just sliced, not chopped.
No, yeah.
Quite nice. I like the texture.
The old garlic. And then we add in our tomato.
There we go. Same thing, blended tomato, coriander, some chili.
Same. You see, that just opens the flavor when you blend it in that.
Oh, Tony, this is phenomenal. Salt, again, very important. Also, with the brinjal being in there, brinjal does like a bit of salt to get the salt in. And then, what's next?
A little bit of pepper.
Pepper's great, and I also feel like when people make recipes, when they make curries at home, they sometimes skip the pepper. I don't know why, but pepper's really great in curries.
You see, especially with the fish curry, you got to add a little bit of pepper with. Normally, my granny, mum, my aunties, they would normally grind the spice
by hand.
By hand.
The commitment, I love it.
On the grinding stone before they would add it into the fish curry itself. Then, and once we got that boiling now, we just add in a little bit of our tamarind mix.
So this is just tamarind paste which you've mixed through with some hot water. Once it dissolves, that's it. And tamarind gives us that sweet, tangy flavor.
Yes.
Oh, tamarind is absolutely amazing, which is another recipe, another ingredient that I want to use more of. It just adds so much more flavor just from that paste.
A little bit at a time to cook.
Oh, perfect. So when does the fish join the mix?
Okay, all this now needs to build up. Build up, and once the brinjals are softened, nice, the tomatoes cooked in, and the tamarind is cooked in with the gravy, then we add in a touch of lemon juice.
Is that just to brighten all the flavors of everything that's happening inside the pan at the moment?
It's going to give that little bit of sourness and that the normal flavor that you would like. This is actually my wife's favorite, the fish curry. Oh, you want to just give your wife a shout out there? Say hi to your wife right over there. Over there we go. Okay. Hi, love. This is dedicated to you.
Ah,
it's your favorite.
Nice and sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah. Looking good?
Looking good.
Now do we add the fish?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, what we do now is then we can add the fish in. We put it face down first.
Skin side up, okay.
This is the opposite from frying.
From frying, right? We always go skin side down when we're frying.
Yeah, we want the flavor to go into the fish.
Okay, where obviously the skin would stop that from happening.
Yes. So we go flesh side down.
It smells amazing in the kitchen right now, South Africa. I wish I could let you smile, but you take my word for it. Fish goes in, lid goes on for a few minutes, and then once it turns beautiful opaque.
We can just put the balance of the thing in, and then you can see it's automatically changing color.
Yes, it is. Turning that beautiful opaque color. I'm gonna give it a little shimmy, get the tamarind in there. Lid on.
Then you can close it now until it cooks a little bit, and then we turn the fish over, and then let it cook for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then the magic ingredient, the coriander.
And do you chop it?
You got to chop it.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a handful.
Like a decent amount.
A decent amount.
Yes.
That's where the actual fish curry flavor comes from.
Ah, Tony,
Coriander.
you have blown us away this morning. Thank you so much. It's not the last time you enjoyed the kitchen. I can't wait to get more recipes out of you. South Africa, you've been amazing. Tony, thank you so much. If you want to try these recipes out, go and check them out on expressoshow.com, and we'll be back next week with more Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ching, ching,
Ching.